discussions with Dace about possibly coming back for?
No, but I'm going to do that this week, Tom. I plan on doing that, and it's the same thing. I mean, it's really up to him. He's been through an awful lot. He's, what a great story. But I can tell you this, from my observations, I don't think he's ever enjoyed football any more than he did this year. Of the years he's been on campus, and now the choice is, does he, he's already graduated, so he could, that's not an issue. It's just a matter of what he chooses to do. And I'll tell you this, I'm very hopeful he stays. It'd be great to have him back for another year.
With this BCS thing, it seems like it's you and Penn State. Is there a level of uncomfortableness with that going up against a fellow conference school? Or
yeah, none of us. I think we all pull for each other. I really believe that, and I can tell you this. You've heard me say it many times. How much respect I have for their program, and it starts at the top. I mean, they've got a legendary coach, and that's not just talk. I mean, Coach Paterno has done so much. I've said this so many times. What he's done for sports in general. College sports in general. I think he's been so good in so many ways, and I can just tell you he's a tremendous human being. He and his wife Sue are just great people. So, I mean, how do you cheer against? And Ohio State, they don't have to worry about it. But I've got such respect for their program, and it's right on down the list. So, in that regard, but the reality is that they're probably going to pick. One of us will get picked, and one of us will have to stay home. But I'll go back to two things. First of all, there's no bad bull. At least I haven't been to one yet. Bill Brazier said that in the 80s, and boy, he knew what he was talking about. We have had nothing but great experiences. So I mean, how can we lose here? That's how I'm looking at it. And the other thing, the best way we can counter that, maybe we can coax Coach Gable to come in with us if we play in a bowl. He is a living legend too. I mean, put his record up against anybody in any sport. I can't imagine anybody's better. So. Maybe we can convince him to go with us, and we'll throw in Coach Fry too. Maybe he'll jump in there, try to balance it out a little bit, because we got a lot to overcome in that regard.
Are you surprised by, you talk about being pitted against Penn State? Are you surprised at the amount of campaigning and the organization they seem to have had out there?
I really haven't paid attention. I haven't paid attention. I just know this. I know our TV numbers are great. I know our fans travel. I can't imagine anybody travels better. I mean, I'm sure somebody's got a what do they call those things? Abacuses. Remember those things? That's before your time. But somebody's been counting all that stuff. But our fans have been, they're nuts. I mean, our fans are crazy that way. So that's great. That'll help us. But it's just, we're all going to win. That's how I look at it. We're all going to win.
In this process, do they ever call you or talk to you in the days leading up? Do you get a call from those guys?
I've not talked to anybody outside of visit with people that come into town when they do for the games. I think that's pretty traditional. But I don't know that many people. I'm not a great phone guy, so I know Gary's done a great job with that, and that's to me that's his job. I don't mean that, but that's to me he's better versed in all those types of things, and I just assume stay out of it. But I just know this: we're going to be happy to go wherever we go. I am confident our team will play well. I think we'll go play well wherever we go. And the other thing I know, we're going to play a very tough team no matter where we go. So just go down the list. It's going to be a tough game.
When did you find out in 2002 you were going to Orange Bowl? It was a different setup. Did you know the night before?
No, I didn't. To answer your question, no, I didn't. And, it's funny we're talking about the lineup for Sunday, this coming Sunday. And that seems like it was about 3 decades ago, so I can't remember. But I think the only thing I remember, all of us were basically in shock, because if you recall, we finished up a week early. The Rose Bowl folks had been out here. A large party had been out here to just lay everything out for us. And so I think there were a lot of people in shock, and certainly, as I understand it, the system's been tweaked a little bit since that time.
How much do you think head-to-head should figure into it?
Well, I mean, it's to me, it's all, if it was as simple as that, which in my mind it should be, but I think it says an awful lot. I think it says an awful lot if you just look at how teams played against each other. I think that's what you get judged on. That's why I tell our players all the time. We get what we deserve. If we played better than that team that day, and that was our attitude going to Ohio State. We didn't have to beat them best out of 7. It was a 1-game series. So Philly beat the Yankees in Yankee Stadium in the opener, right? Cliff Lee, they threw a hell of a game, and they won that game. They lost the series, but they won that game, and that's what it comes down to is what you do. I go back to what I saw this weekend. Just it made me appreciate our 10 wins that much more, because football's tough and it's competitive. Everybody wants to win.
When you look when you took a step back this week and we're watching games, you look at the fact that there are still 6 undefeated teams. Does that sort of change in any way your idea of how, whether it should be a one-off, or do you think the system is fine the way it is?
I'm fine with it where it is, and I'm okay with the +1. Yeah, I'm okay with that. If I think anything beyond that, I just don't think it's realistic. We have so much out of our players. But if we all go to a bowl game and then there's a +1, I'm open to that, and obviously there's going to be debate. Team 5 is going to be upset about that one, but yeah, that's so far out of the realm of my jurisdiction, so I don't worry too much about it.
When a team like Notre Dame changes coaches, does that reopen the recruiting trail in your mind for kids with verbal to that school? How do you treat that?
Oh, perhaps if we were contacted by someone, and unfortunately, we all have those of us in coaching, this is a great job to have. Unfortunately, this is the season where people make decisions and changes get made, and that's the reality of the landscape we work with. So if somebody contacts us, typically, then that may be we'll certainly entertain. We're kind of running out of room on our bus right now, but if we get some intriguing offers or interest levels, but we really haven't had much of that.
Let me ask you another question.
Sure.
About the past season. You had a lot of great plays this past season in the games. Could you just go over and list the top 2 plays in your mind when you think of this season and why they're the top 2 plays?
Yeah, without thinking too far into it, the first thing that comes to mind is Adrian's play at Penn State. That was our spark there, certainly. And if you go to Wisconsin, it's probably a series of the interception by Amari, and then Tony and Stanzi hooking up for a great play. The moment Stanzi to make that was pretty good at Michigan State. That wasn't a bad deal. And then you can't skip over the goal line stands. So I didn't answer the question. I went over my 2, but and again, my point is, in competitive football, there's so many things that happen that for you to be successful, and those are all involved different parties other than the 2 goal line stands. But for us to win, and that's kind of been the story of our program historically. For us to win, things have to we have to do a lot of things right, and I think that's again a credit to our players. They've really done a nice job.
The blocked punt return was number 1 because where it happened, when it happened.
Adrian's?
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed a play at that time. Things were, I can't remember the score, 10-3 or something like that. But it just, we needed a spark, and once that happened, it just seemed like our team just, took off at that point. And I thought, on the sidelines, I felt pretty good about what was going on from that point on. Whereas, you go through those periods in games where you're just kind of, we're trying to get something ignited or what have you, and go from there.